Hi, boys and girls. I'm so excited to read today's last science story of the week. I wonder what spring bug we'll be talking about. What garden friend? Let's go over and review the ones we've talked about already. We have talked about the earthworm, the slimy earthworms that live in the dirt, right? Underneath the gardens. They're good. They help the gardens, right? We've talked about, the praying mantis. Love how they are holding their hands, looking like they're praying. The ladybug, right? The ladybug. The ladybug eats bad bugs that are in the garden, right? I love the ladybugs. That's one of my favorite. We've talked about, the monarch butterfly, one of my favorites as well. I love watching them fly around and land on flowers. So what is the last one I'm going to tell you about today? What do you think? Let's look. What is that right there? Can you see it? What is that? It's a bee. That's right. A bee. And look at it. It's looks like it's feeding off of a flower. Because that's what they do, right? I have a lot in my yard right now, feeding off the little flowers in the yard. Well, I want you to listen to find out about two bees in the garden. So put those listening ears on and listen about the two bees in the garden. Bzzz. Betty Honeybee was busy visiting the flowers in the garden. She planned to visit almost 100 flowers before the day was over. She sang as she flew from flower to flower. I'm gathering nectar, nectar so sweet, it helps me make honey, a wonderful treat. Who is buzzing through the garden? Who is buzzing through the garden? That's right, Betty Honeybee. As Betty fitted about, she noticed another bee in the garden. Oh, thought Betty, there's Anna Bumblebee. I've noticed her before. I fly much faster than she does. My hive is much bigger than hers, and there are a lot of worker bees in my hive. She doesn't have many workers at all. I'm a honeybee, but she's just a bumblebee. Everyone knows that honeybees are special. Betty held her head up high, a little higher than before, because she thought she was better than Anna. Doesn't sound very Jesus-like or Christ-like, does it? That's not something Jesus would want us to be, right? We're all the same. We're all equal. We don't look at other people or other animals, anything lower than us. So what does Betty think about Anna Bumblebee? She doesn't think very much of her, right? She's not using kind words. She says, Betty says she flies slower, that Anna flies slower, and she has her hive is smaller just because Betty is a honeybee. And Anna is just a bumblebee, she said. Is Betty thinking kind thoughts? Is she thinking kind thoughts? Is the honeybee thinking kind thoughts? No, I did not hear anything kind out of her mouth. About that time, Anna Bumblebee and Betty flew over the same flower at the same time. Well, excuse me, said Betty, rather rudely. I believe I was here first. Oh, I'm sorry, said Anna politely. I didn't see you. Of course, you go first. As Betty placed her long, narrow tongue into the pretty pink flower to sip out the nectar, Anna Bumblebee spoke up again. Don't you live in the big hive over the oak tree? I've heard you have a wonderful hive and many worker bees. My hive is small, the one over there in the elm tree. It's not nearly as large as yours, but it's very comfortable. You must have lots of babies in your hive to feed. Is there anything I can do to help you? That was so sweet of Anna to think of someone else other than herself. How does Anna Bumblebee treat Betty? Is she mean? Is the bumblebee mean or is she kind? That's right. She is kind. What color is the flower that Betty is sipping? What color is that flower? Pink. That's right. It says that as Betty placed her long, narrow tongue into the pretty pink flower. Anna was so kind that she began to feel ashamed. She had been so rude to Anna. What makes Betty feel ashamed? That's right, that Anna was so kind. She thought, wow, I didn't expect Anna to be so kind to me and say kind words. Betty said, Anna, I'm sorry I was unkind to you. I forgive you, said Anna. Let's go and find some flowers. There are plenty of flowers in the garden for both of us, said Betty. We both need to gather nectar and pollen so we can feed our babies and have honey for the winter. The flowers need us to spread the pollen so many more flowers can bloom. Let's share the flowers. The two bees flew away together. That was so kind. Is it kind? Was that a kind thing for Anna, for Betty to say to Anna that I'm sorry? It is. Remember in class when maybe someone pushed you in line by accident, or maybe they hurt your feelings and they said, I'm sorry, do you forgive me? And we forgave them, right? We say, yes, I forgive you. Please don't do that again because that hurt my feelings, right? So Betty was doing the right thing by apologizing and using kind words. So the honeybee and the bumblebee both need the nectar from the flower, right? To feed their babies. They both need the same thing. It is important to share and to be thoughtful to others. Remember that. Just like Jesus would. It's kind to use. What is our thing that we say in school? If you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. We only use kind words out of our mouth. Okay, guys, I love this story. I cannot wait to hear what is your favorite garden friend. Have a great day.